I would like to introduce you to Emily Holdaway. Em started blogging after the birth of her first child about motherhood, parent life, and the realities of life with a little one. Her blog, Raising Ziggy, resonated with thousands of mums, and things really grew. She's now a mum of two, a community builder, a social media mentor, a sustainability advocate, and I think I'm just scraping the surface there. She wears many hats and champions many amazing causes like cloth nappies and fighting period poverty. And she speaks up on taboo subjects like mental health, postpartum recovery, and the challenges of motherhood. So we are so excited to have her here today to talk to us about cloth nappies. And welcome, Em. I will hand over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Juliet. Oh, that was lovely. Can I have that little blurb written down, please? Kia ora koutou, ko te mihi tuatahi, ka mihi atu kia rangi nui e tui honei, kia papatuanaku e takoto ana nei, me o araua tamariki katoa. Ka mihi atu kia koe, Juliet, for your moto mahi nunui ki tēnei kaupapa mo plastic-free July. You've done such amazing work. And kei te mihi whakamutunga kia koutou katoa mo tō kaitiakitanga he mahi nunui tēnei. Nō reira, tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou katoa. Hi everyone. In a nutshell, I just wanted to shout out to you for being here. I want to shout out to you for being here because the fact that you've come today means so much to me, to Juliet, and to the planet, because at heart I am a planeteer. Now I recognize a whole heap of names here, and like Rebecca, I can see you there, and Charles and Shad, and I'm thinking you guys already use cloth nappies. My goodness. Talk about pressure. My goal for the session today was to give you watching the confidence to use cloth. Half of the seminar already has it. So if you've got some more nitty-gritty questions, chuck them in the chat. But I want to start with that main goal, to give people the confidence to use cloth, because it's, I believe, one of the most impactful decisions we can make in our journey as parents. And it's a really big thing to take on. And I want to acknowledge that on top of parenthood, doing cloth nappies is a little extra work. But hopefully what I can do today is help demystify it, is help streamline it, and is to give you the encouragement to just do it. So a little bit of my why, I guess. If you think about our planet and how long disposable nappies have been around, because I was of the era of the big bulky cloth nappies with the pins that my mum put me in, so disposable nappies are pretty new. If we think about those disposable nappies, every single one ever used is still here. And that's a pretty grim way to start a seminar, but I think it's really important to put it into perspective that every nappy, every wet wipe that we've ever used is still here. We can't see it because it's in landfill, but they don't go away. And so by making the decision to use cloth, if every baby in disposable nappies in New Zealand just use one, that would be 1 million nappies not going to landfill. It's really impactful in a year, the impact we can have. Ourselves in our own house, if we just use one a day, that's 365 in a year that don't go to landfill. A few of you have heard me talk about landfill, but I was having this moment of thinking before I came in about how we don't really talk enough about what that means, and how when we put things in the rubbish and the truck takes them away, they take them to a site. We've got one out here nearby here. They dig a big hole in the ground and they line that hole with plastic and they fill it up with all that rubbish and they pack it down really, really tight. Nothing breaks down in there. It just sits under the ground, and maybe in 30 years' time they'll put a playground on it, and maybe Ziggy's kids will be playing where his generation's nappies are under the ground. No. And so for me, when I started Cloth Nappies, it was because I didn't want my children to start their life with such a big environmental footprint. That was just me. It took me a long time to wrap my head around having kids, but for me, it was a really big part of it. So I thought, you know what? We're going to do cloth nappies. The cloth nappy of 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, they're quite flash these days, team. There's no like big squares of fabric. I mean, you can still do it. There's no safety pins. There's no buckets of nappy sand with the stick in them. I don't know, that's just burned into my memory, a bucket of nappy sand. There's none of that. Cloth nappies in this day and age look like that. They are a fashion item in their own sense. I mean, look at it. You can get them with sunflowers on them. And if you have this magical contraption for the washing machine, then that side of it is a lot easier. We're not down at the river with a rock. We've got a washing machine. We chuck them in it, and that does most of the work for us, right? So before I get into the nappy options I've got to show you here, I want to do a little bit of a shout out to our sponsors for today's workshop. They are Chirpy Cheeks and Fluffy Ducks. Now, I don't know, can I share my screen? Oh, yes, I can. Please hold, caller. Can you guys see this? So later on, if you haven't already, over here, there is a highlight all about cloth nappies. The discount codes and the links are all in there to either Chirpy Cheeks, whose website looks a little bit like that, or to Fluffy Ducks, whose website looks a little bit like that. There is a discount code and you're away laughing. So nappies, let's have a look. Let's have a look at nappies. One thing I find that people get really confused about with cloth nappies is all the jargon. There is a lot of small print. There's your MCN, OSFM, Snap and One, trifolds, prefolds, and it can be super overwhelming, right? You're seeing all these acronyms and all these letters thinking, this is just too hard. A nappy, in its absolute basicness, a nappy is the outside bit, which is generally waterproof, and the inside bit, which is what absorbs everything. So you have the pretty outside. I've disappeared. I can't see myself anymore, but that's okay. You have the pretty outside, and then you have the absorbency. That's the important stuff that sucks everything up. And the way that this one goes with this one, that is what gives the nappy its name. So at the bare basics of it, a nappy is the absorbent stuff and the outside stuff, and they go together. Magic, right? Magic. The most common nappy out there is called a pocket nappy. And it's called a pocket nappy because it's got a pocket on it and your inserts go into the pocket. That is your most basic style. Heaps of brands are pocket nappies because it's just so simple. With most brands, when you buy them, they come with absorbency in them, and just check how much absorbency is in there. So this one here, this is Chirpy Cheeks. It's one of our sponsors. This is a one size fits most nappy, and when you buy it, it comes already with one insert inside it. And you can get that nappy and that insert for $10. Cloth napping doesn't have to be expensive. You can get that and that together for $10. Now, you are going to get to a stage where the absorbency is not quite going to work, because the big difference between cost of nappies is how absorbent they are. With Chirpy Cheeks also, you can get a bamboo, a natural fibre insert for another $4 or $5. $15, one nappy, 2 inserts, you are away laughing. Now, the pocket nappy, the most common size of the pocket nappy is the OSFM, which stands for one size fits most, because the idea is that this one nappy sizing will last for the majority of the time that your child's going to be in cloth. From about 3 to 4 months, depends how they're born. You know, my kids came out with skinny little legs. Some people's babies come out looking like the Michelin baby from the tire ads. It totally depends. But around 3 or 4 months, your baby's going to fit this, and they're going to fit them all the way until they're 2.5. You can also do this magical thing, which is called resizing them. So the other part of nappies that gets people quite confused is all these domes on the front. What do the domes do, Em? The domes, they resize your nappies. So you've got a little row of domes down here. And then you've got the innie domes, which is called the female dome, and the outie dome, which is called the male dome. I'm sure you can figure out why. And you snap one of the lines to there, and what happens? Here's one I prepared earlier. It makes your nappy shorter. So within the one size fits most, the reason it's called that is because you can adjust it for sizing. However, it's also 2023, so if you wanted to get super hard out, you can just get little newborn nappies. They're so tiny. And if your child grows out of the one size fits most, brands these days also do larger nappies for bigger babies. I talk to parents who have 4, 5, 6-year-olds who for one reason or another are still in nappies, and they find that the big size up is really helpful. So that's your pocket nappy. Pocket nappy's easy. There's a pocket, everything goes in the pocket. When it comes time to wash it, you pull everything out of the pocket, you put it in the washing machine. We'll get to washing in a second. The other nappy style, which conveniently is the other sponsor, Fluffy Ducks, is one where it's called a snap-in. So it is same thing on the outside. You got your pretty little nappy outer, and then on the inside you've got this cool little funky dome situation, so you can dome your inserts through the nappy and everything just sits in there nicely. Fluffy Ducks are actually a bit flash because they do double as a pocket nappy. You can stuff that in there if you wanted to, but they're also quite trim, so if you have large hands it can be difficult. So you can just have them sitting on the outside. Now, the first nappy I showed you, it's a $15 nappy, right? This is a $32 nappy. And you're like, well, what's the difference here? Why can I buy 2 for the price of this one? What it generally boils down to is the absorbency you're buying. Because absorbency is key, right? No one wants a leaking nappy. And getting leaks on your nappy is going to be one of the first things that puts you off. The better your absorbency, the less leaks you will get. When you buy fluffy ducks, they have 2 inserts. And they're a natural fiber, they're a bamboo blend. So they are very absorbent. The more affordable nappies use a microfiber insert. Think of microfiber like your kitchen sponge. It's going to suck up that mimi really quickly, but it doesn't hold as much. And if you go like this, you can kind of wring it out. Whereas a natural fiber like bamboo or hemp or cotton, it just holds more. And it's safe to go against bub's skin. So the microfiber nappies, you can't put them on skin. That's why there's a pocket. These ones you can. You don't need to write all this down or worry about it though, because it's in my highlights. I'm just sharing it again here. Okay? Okay. Fluffy ducks also, so they have the sizing domes on them. They're also a one size fits most nappy, and they can snap down really, really small. So if you've got the budget for it, that's a nappy that's going to last basically from like baby being born for a good couple of years and come with all the absorbency that you need. The other important nappy to share, because it's totally different again, is the nappy you use at night. So if you want to go there, it's like next level cloth nappies during the night. And before I share it with you, I just want to reiterate that when it comes to cloth nappies, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can use a disposable at night. You can use a disposable on a long car ride. Heck, I was talking to my business coach and she said, oh, Em, I couldn't do cloth nappies because I don't want to touch the poo. I was like, Sarah, you could have just used a cloth nappy after Scarlett had a poo. And that could have been your cloth nappy for the day. Wait till she has a poo on one that you don't have to deal with it too much. And then put one on. It's not all or nothing. But if you do want to get fancy and do cloth nappies overnight, it's a different nappy. Because you need way more absorbency to hold a night worth of mimi. So this is one from our dear friends at Chirpy Cheeks again. This is one example of a night nappy. And what makes it really special is it's got the shell, the waterproof prettiness. The napping inside is entirely absorbent. It's not just an absorbent insert. The whole damn nappy is made out of absorbent materials. So this sucker can hold a lot. So yeah, if you are going to do them at night, you want to get a night nappy, because generally the daytime nappies are not quite going to work. Right. Now, it's not just nappies, team. It's not just nappies. Because when you start going down this rabbit hole of cloth, all this other cool stuff out there, right? There's other cool shit. So you don't have to ever buy wet wipes again, because the cloth world has cloth wipes. And these are awesome. And you can get them. So everyone who sells cloth nappies is going to also sell cloth wipes. Or you can just get flannels at Kmart, right? You don't have to use wet wipes. One of these will deal to poo probably as good as 8 wet wipes. Wet wipes are shit. They slip everywhere. They really, like, you're going to get so much poo on your fingers. You need cloth, and you just wet them under a tap, wipe everything up, chuck them in the washing machine. The other cool thing in the cloth nappy world are the wet bags. These little nifty doodackies. These are so that you can take your cloth nappies out and about with you when you're brave and you go outside the house with a cloth nappy on. They're really cool ones. Some just have a single zip. I'm going to get a little bit technical here. But my favorite ones have a double zip system. So all you do is you get your cloth wipes, you wet them under the taps, you put them already wet and cleaned out into your wet bag, so that when you're out and about and your baby needs dealing to, you've got some damp wipes in here. And then take the nappy off, you clean them up, you get your nappy, your dirty nappy, and you put it in there. And it just stays in there until you get home. No smell, no mess, no issues. Then when your kids are no longer wearing nappies and they're at school or kindy, it doubles as a fantastic wet clothes bag. My kids are 5 and 7. I still use their wet bags. I absolutely love them and I use them for everything. You can also get breast pads. I just got all the goodies here today. It's not just cloth nappies, right? It is a whole rabbit hole of reusable everything. Anyway, that in essence are the two basic styles or 3 basic styles of cloth nappies. There's other options out there. There are trifolds. A trifold, if you hear that, it's just a pretty word for a piece of absorbent stuff that folds into 3, hence tri. There's shells, there's covers. All you need to remember is that there's the pretty napping and there's the absorbent part, and you put them together and you put them on your kid. Simple. Simple. And then you have to wash them. So, does anyone have questions or want to chuck them in the chat about the types of nappies? Are there ways of making day nappies more absorbent? Yes, 100%. So depending what nappy you're using and what insert it has come with, you will get more absorbency by adding a second insert. The insert, you want to walk that thin line between it getting too thick in the nappy so that you get a good fit and getting the amount of absorbency you need. So what I would highly recommend, I'm just going to share my screen again, is if you were to go to the Chirpy Cheeks website, see down the side here they have inserts. You can get inserts individually, and these bamboo ones, these double hourglass, these here, they are all going to absolutely boost the absorbency in your nappy. So what I did for the boys with my just my general pocket nappy is I had this always happens when I do nappy talks, my desk just turns into this exploded bomb site of nappies. I would have the microfiber that it came with, and then behind the microfiber I'd put a second insert that was a natural fiber like hemp or bamboo. Now I'd put it behind, so in the nappy this is the first one because this catches quickly, and then the natural fiber at the back is like your extra holding of Mimi. Put them both into your pocket and you're away. If you invest in something like Fluffy Ducks from the start, you probably won't have the leaking issues because there is 12 layers of bamboo to soak everything up. But yeah, adding inserts and adding natural fiber inserts because they are thinner and they're going to hold more.
I've got a few questions that have come through. So Ashley is wondering, do you have any websites that have good / clean pre-loved nappies?
Yes. And I can't believe the times I will share. Also washing, right? Because everyone's here to learn how to wash their nappies, because that's the bit that we don't want to do, is wash our nappies. In the highlight, there's a wash routine, so you can go back. But I just want to myth bust some shit first, because there's lots of bad info out there, and I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it. If you don't want your nappies to smell, you have to wash them twice. You have to use good detergent, no soap nuts, no unicorn farts, doesn't work. And you need to be washing warm or hot. you can't cold wash nappies. You can cold wash nappies, but your nappies will start to smell. So how it works, you don't soak them. You take the nappy off your baby who's done whatever they've done to it, and you pop them in the washing basket. If your washing basket has nice big holes around it, that's going to help keep the smell down. It's called dry paling. That's another one of those terms that's all fancy that you don't need to learn. But you pop them into the washing basket until you've got 5 or 6. Insert the whole thing, this bit, this bit, this bit, they all go into the machine, and you put just the nappies on a warm wash. Just the nappies in the inserts, no clothes, because what you're doing in that first warm wash is you're getting out the bulk of the mimi and the kaka. You don't want to wash everything else in the mimi and the kaka. So it's called a pre-wash, but you don't really want it to be 15 minutes. You want it to be a decent half an hour to an hour wash, just the nappies. Then once they've washed and they've spun, you get in there, you foof them all up with your hands, and you put in the baby clothes. It's really important to do a full load. And it's really important to put small items of clothing in, not sheets, not towels. The nappies will get bunched up in there and they will not wash. The trick to clean nappies, or what cleans the nappy in the washing machine, is the agitation cycle. It's the swish swish, it's the flop flop, depending what machine you have. The longer the agitation, the better the clean is going to be. When I had our top loader, I put it on a heavy duty wash. It doesn't use any extra water, but it just swishes for longer. Now that we've upgraded and we're fancy, we've got a front loader, there's a setting called Kids. This puppy's like a 3-hour wash. That's what I would use for your nappies. Again, it's not using more water, it's just more of the actual washing. So a good laundry powder like Persil, like there are a couple of others. I've used the new Eco Store, the latest one. Warm washing, not cold, in 2 washes. I used to get delivered, I used to get donated hundreds of nappies, and I could tell as soon as I opened a courier bag how they had been washed. And that bag would either open smelling clean, or it would open stinking of ammonia. And it was in how those nappies were being washed. So it has to be warm to hot, not super hot. You don't want a super hot, like 90 degree it, because you can disintegrate the little waterproof lining in there. But 60 degrees, yeah. As to the question about great secondhand quality nappies, oh yes, there is a booming trade in great quality secondhand nappies. And keep this in mind when you buy your nappies. There's a secondhand market, as long as you look after them and you wash them well, because people will ask. And there's Trade Me, but yeah, there's a really good group on Facebook. I will put the link in my highlight for you. Does anyone know off the top of their head? It's like MCN Aotearoa Buy Sell Marketplace, something like that. And oh my God, in my buy sell page for Patreon, we have nappies in there all the damn time. For anyone watching this, however, because there is a number that I can deal with, if you're watching this and you want to give it a go and you're not really sure where to start, or the cost is a bit on the side, send me a DM down here under my desk. Have shitloads of donated nappies. I will send them to you. I'll send you 4. I'll get you started with 4 nappies. Just cover postage and just send me a message through Instagram. Because really, at the end of the day, if I can encourage you to give it a go, then I've done my job. you know.
It's so amazing, Em. It's very generous. Can I fire a couple more questions at you?
You sure can.
What is the lifetime of an insert? How many times can you wash them?
All of my inserts have done both kids. So we're talking 4 years of cloth napping with the same inserts.
Yeah. I think I used my inserts for all 3 kids. I never had to replace them. Although when you talked about the opening the packages of ammonia smelling nappies, yeah, those were my nappies. I didn't nail washing them. I should have been to this workshop 10 years ago.
There was a lot of bad information floating around back then. No soaking. Soaking actually something science it does, and it makes the ammonia smell even worse.
Yeah.
So you just put them in the wash.
I remember that advice changed while I was cloth napping. So I think my first child, I soaked them. And then on second, not sure. Third, I was definitely dry paling them by then. Yeah. But by then they already stunk.
And if you get to that situation where you've got stinky nappies, just fill the bath with hot water, put in some Persil, put in some nappy sand, swish it all around, chuck everything in, just leave it in there overnight.
Is that a strip wash? Is that called a strip wash?
Pretty much, yeah. It's my take on a strip wash. It's a
bit
easier. And the next day you just take everything out and put them through the wash. It's just like a really good deep clean.
Cool.
I've had to do that to many a nappy in the donation days over the years.
Loads full. From Melanie, how many cloth nappies would you need for full-time use, including night?
Including night, I'd go about 3 or 4 for your night nappies. 3, maybe 4. And then about 15 to 20 for your day nappies. I was washing every 2 days. So you use about 5 nappies on the first day plus a night, and then another 5 plus a night. So we're at 10 and 2. Wash them, dry them, and have more to go. You don't need a shitload. You don't need a shitload of nappies. If you're washing every couple of days, then 15 to 20 will get you there. The drying's a bit tricky at the moment. Well, it is where I live because it won't stop raining. You can put them in the dryer on low. That's absolutely fine. Microfiber will dry faster. Your natural fibers will take longer to dry because they're just more absorbent. Ashley's also got a question. How do you know what's good quality with the pre-loved ones on the Facebook group? They will tell you how they've washed them. So sellers on the groups on Facebook these days are pretty good at saying, have washed following clean cloth nappies instructions. There's not really a bad nappy. Really, like there are different styles and different brands and different absorbencies. But for the most part, once you've got the right absorbency in a nappy, it's a good nappy. You just want to make sure when you're buying them that they say that they're in good condition, that the waterproofing hasn't deteriorated, would be something to keep an eye out for.
And if you can actually see the nappies yourself, this is just related to another question someone's asked, if they don't smell and they look like they're in good condition, there's nothing else you really need to look out for?
No.
No.
When you buy them from you, put them through the wash first. Some people put them through the wash a couple of times. If I buy secondhand nappies and they smell fine and they look fine, I'll just wash them once and then start using them.
Awesome. And this one's not a question, more of a tip. I put my inserts in the hot water cylinder cupboard and they dry overnight.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Especially good over winter when you can't get them outside on the line. That's awesome. And I think we could probably call it there because it's 3:38 and you've got another workshop starting in 20 minutes.
I've got another workshop. I am going to do this again, Tim, because half an hour is not enough time for everyone's questions. So I'm going to run this workshop again in 3 weeks so that we can get through the school holidays. And it will be an hour long. There will be more time for questions, and I will send you a copy of my wash resource. It's $20. The link to it is on my Instagram page in my bio, and I'll share on my story as well. So if you want to come and hang out again and go a bit deeper, come along.
Yeah, or if you've found this amazing, which I imagine everyone has, then tell other, new mums or mums who you think might be interested, or dads who might be interested in cloth nappying, and let them know about it as well.
Thank you everyone for showing up. And if you take anything away from this, it's just to do what you can. Give it a go and do what you can. There is so much support out there in the mum world to help you do cloth nappies.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you so much, Em. And yes, thank you everybody for coming along. Have a great weekend. Have a great plastic-free July. And ka kite.
Ka kite crew. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Em.